He slammed the deed onto the table like it was a verdict, his voice cutting through the silence. "I didn't raise a fool," he growled, "but here you are, proving me wrong." That was the final thing my father said before he threw me out. No discussion, no warning, just a glare, a sharp order, and the sound of the front door closing behind me. I stood outside, 22 years old, holding a backpack and a fractured dream. The property I'd purchased was nothing more than wild terrain, rocks, weeds, and open sky. No power lines, no driveway, just soil and solitude. But to me it felt like escape. To him, it was lunacy. He accused me of chasing illusions, said I had tarnished our name. Strange words coming from a man who once spent weekends teaching me how to read elevation maps for fun. Back then, he was everything to me, a maker, a protector, a man with hands worn by labor, but who never showed weakness, not even when Mom walked away. We used to build things side by side, 3 forts, birdhouses, repairs that didn't need doing. I was his mirror. Until I wasn't. I'm not sure when it shifted. Maybe after his second marriage. Maybe when I started digging into the family business and the way money vanished with no explanation. His expressions got colder. His praise faded. He started laughing at my plans instead of hearing them. I chalked it up to harsh love. That's what sons do. We shoulder the burden until we're strong enough to put it down. I thought that land would show him I had foresight, that I wasn't just pretending to be a man. I showed him blueprints, eco-lodges, off-grid living, a retreat for healing. He didn't read a word, called it nonsense. That night I overheard him telling my stepmom, maybe he needs to hit bottom before reality sets in. He didn't know I was listening. That was the break. The instant when something inside me went silent and sharp. I didn't argue, didn't plead. I just nodded, packed, and walked away. But I never let it go. Over the next 6 years, I turned that forsaken land into my quiet rebellion. Not loud, not bitter. My revenge was slow, calculated. Like the cabins I'd one day build. Every beam with meaning, every joint deliberate. Step 1, disappear. I cut ties. No contact, no calls on birthdays. Let him believe I was buried beneath his judgment. While he nursed drinks and cursed lazy boys, I was clearing brush and pouring foundations. I taught myself solar systems, compost plumbing, insulation from scratch, worked nights washing dishes, spent daylight with soil under my nails, lived lean, rested rarely. Step 2, cultivate. First came the cabins, then a greenhouse, then the first guest, a novelist seeking quiet. She left a glowing review. Soon, more followed. Photographers, burnt-out executives, couples on the brink. They came for stillness, left with perspective. I watched them mend in the same woods where I once broke. I named it Ashwood, clean, unassuming, just like revenge should be. Step 3, reveal. I didn't confront him. I reached his circle, the same men he drank with, bragged to, developers, committee members, the kind who valued property and prestige. I invited them to Ashwood under different names. At first, they didn't know who owned it. I gave them seclusion, elegance, comfort disguised as simplicity. Then I gave them numbers, profits, press coverage, sustainability recognition, consistent growth. Their eyes lit up like they'd struck oil. They asked to invest. I declined. Instead, I planned a charity event at Ashwood, sent invitations to all the influential names, including my father. The invite was embossed, refined, inviting, yet sharp. He showed up. I saw him step out of the car. Confusion smeared across his face. My team welcomed him politely, called me Mr. Cross. He didn't know me right away. Clean cut, calm, wearing a suit that matched the man I'd become. When he finally realized, his face went pale. "You built this?" he asked. I nodded. "On the land you said would bury me." He took in the architecture, the forest mirrored in the glass, the murmurs of admiration and talk of legacy. He laughed, but it was thin. It cracked halfway through. "You could have told me," he said. I gave a polite, distant smile. "You told me to hit bottom, so I built something there." He didn't say anything after that, just drifted through the evening like a stranger in someone else's dream, left without a word. That night, I stood on the balcony, watching the stars scatter across the sky. One of the guests came over and said, "Your father seemed quiet." "He said enough," I replied. That was the victory. Not an apology. He'd never give one. But the silence, the knowledge that I wasn't broken, that he'd already lost the battle before realizing it had begun. I didn't destroy him. Didn't have to. I just made sure he saw what I became without him, because sometimes revenge doesn't need noise. Sometimes it just needs to be seen.